Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about the S23 Plus versus the S23 Ultra. Do you need to spend that extra money? We know we can get an S23 Plus for around 300 bucks. We can get an Ultra for around 460 to 500 bucks in very good condition for both. So I see a lot of people going back and forth trying to see, if they should save up the extra money to get the Ultra. And again, if you're in a budget, every dollar counts, right? But you may not need the extra features that the S23 Ultra provides. So I do want to kind of go over the differences of these two phones, let you guys check out the pictures, and let's check out, just everything here. The first thing is hardware is kind of a big thing here because you have two different designs, kind of. So you have a more curved feel on the S23 Plus, which is a lot more comfortable. It doesn't poke the palm like on the S23 Ultra as well, and they're both kind of bigger phones, but the S23 Plus is a little bit more manageable. It's smaller, so that's something I definitely would just know. If you have smaller hands, you're most likely going to be better off with the Plus. It's going to be a lot more comfortable. And then also you have to take into consideration, do you really need the S Pen? It's something that you kind of have to know. Are you going to use the S Pen? This is the Bluetooth S Pen, and we know that they took the Bluetooth out of the S25 Ultra. So these older Galaxy phones are, the phone is just a lot more useful as far as if you're, doing content creation. You can snap a photo with the pen, or you can take video, and for some reason mine's not connecting, but you can use the button to skip songs and stuff like that, do digital artwork. So there's, a lot of stuff you can do with the, S Pen, but it just depends on if you see yourself using it. Because if you don't, then you don't, really need to spend that extra money for that pen. So that's pretty much it for the hardware. They're both IP68. They both have that matte finish. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And also, if you are thinking about these purple colors, they do kind of look more, I guess, kind of pink-ish through the camera. But they do look more purple in color. I mean, not in color, but in person. So let's talk about the displays here. So the S23 Plus is a 6.6-inch display. It's dynamic AMOLED, 120 Hz, HDR10+, 1750 for the max brightness, and then it's a 1080p 393 for the PPI. The thing here is that it's a completely flat panel, which a lot of people, pretty much prefer these days. So you might like the flat panel compared to the, S23 Plus curve display, or the Ultra's curved display. And it looks really good, so I don't have any issue with it. Now the S23 Ultra has a dynamic AMOLED display. It's a 6.8-inch display, and again, HDR10+, 120 Hz, 1750 for the max brightness, and then it's 1440p 500 for the PPI. So you have a higher resolution panel on here with a higher PPI. As far as just the overall panels here, at this distance, they look pretty much the same. Like I said, it's really hard to tell. And even if we, come out of here, let's look at the icons here. Let's see. Yeah, the S23 Ultra has a little bit cleaner icons. But guys, it's really hard to tell. Like, you have to really kind of look close up. So I would say the display difference is not really, that crazy of a difference for the most part. And it really just depends, if you like that flat display on the, if you like the flat display on the S23 Plus, a lot of people like that. But it just depends. So I wouldn't necessarily say the way it looks is better, because they pretty much look identical as far as color, and you got to look really close for the S23 Plus to see, or the Ultra, to see that it's sharper. But yeah, I would say if you're into displays and you really like displays, you can go with the Ultra for sure, because it's a great display. And like I said, the curve is not like super dramatic to the point where it's like a aggressive curve like on the S22 Ultra. So it just comes down to your personal preference here. The awesome thing about the S23 series is that we have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 global. So all of them have it wherever you are, right? So that's really awesome. The performance is pretty much the same on here. They're identical. These are both 8GB RAM base model phones here, and they both start out at 256 gigs for the base model. after using these phones for such a long time, I don't really see any type of difference here with performance, which, you know, would be weird to see since they have the same processor. A lot of people like, oh, are they clocking the, you know, the Plus model down? Even if they are, I don't really feel it. I don't think they are. I just think they run the same pretty much animation wise, and both these phones also have a 4-year pledge as well too. So it has a 4-year pledge from Android 13. It starts Android 13. As you guys can see, they're loading up the exact same. There's no performance difference that I could tell, which is a good thing. So we don't have any issues. YouTube. Music. And PUBG. And again, gaming performance is again the same here. They both do a really good job with gaming, and this is something that I always recommend to people. If you do find yourself more in the competitive side of gaming and you're a mobile gamer, you know, you can play games on these phones. Really good settings, and I'm not having any type of major overheating problems with the S23 phones. So I like to recommend these for gaming, but as you guys can see, the speed is it's identical. So as far as PUBG goes, like I was saying, guys, gaming performance, we're on 120 frames. Awesome devices for gaming. So it's silky smooth running these phones at 120 frames for PUBG. So yeah, so if you are into gaming, you can get the same performance for, you know, cheap. And if you really are on a budget trying to game, you can go all the way down to the base model S23. You can get that, and that phone is a lot cheaper as well too. So it just depends on, you know, what your budget is. But I mean, this is great, you know, really solid performance. All right, so let's check out these speakers. We're at max volume. Let's see if we can hear a difference. Yeah, so they both sound similar, but the Ultra has a lot more bass to it. And it's not a lot more, it just sounds just a little bit louder. And the Plus still has a good amount of bass. It's a pretty nice balanced sound. Yeah, it just sounds just a little bit louder on the Ultra. So I would say a slight speaker, you know, improvement here. It's not, I don't think it's like super dramatic, but yeah, you do have a slightly louder, fuller sounding speaker on the Ultra for sure here. The good thing is both phones also will get the Galaxy AI. If you know, want to experience the Galaxy AI, you have a pretty good amount of features here. You don't have all of the Galaxy AI features, but we have a pretty good amount of features here. So if you do want to do that, circle to search is here, and the updated Gemini is here as well, so that's nice. And also the fingerprint scanners are identical as well. They both have the ultrasonic, so they both work extremely well, so no issues there. All right, so one of the bigger, you know, difference here is going to be the cameras here. So do you need basically the zoom that the S23 Ultra, and I'm pretty curious to see how the photos come out. Are the photos a lot better looking on the Ultra phone? We do have a 200 megapixel standard 10 megapixel telephoto with a 3x optical, and then a 10 megapixel periscope telephoto with a 10x optical that will get you all the way up to 100 times zoom. 12 megapixel ultra wide shoots in 8K 24 and 30, and then a 12 megapixel selfie. The Plus has a 50 megapixel standard 10 megapixel telephoto 3x, which will go up to 30 times. And then we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. This can also shoot in 8K 24 and 30. And again, 12 megapixel selfie shoots in 4K 60. as far as battery life, you are not getting much better battery life on the S23 Plus, in my opinion. The battery life feels very similar. Even though the Plus, it does have, a smaller battery at 4,700 milliamps versus the 5,000 milliamps, and they actually both charge at the same speeds at 45 watts, and they both have wireless and reverse wireless charging. My guess is because, they're running the same processors, but this is running at, 1080p, this is running at 1440p. This has a smaller battery, this has a slightly bigger battery, so it kind of evens out, I guess, and they legit feel the same. Standby time, screen on time, but that's not a bad thing. They both have really good battery life, in my opinion. So I think you can easily get through the day with these phones. So I wouldn't worry about screen on time if you're trying to make a decision. So I think it really comes down to, it's very kind of small things here because they pretty much feel the same. It's just the big deciding factor is going to be honestly the camera and the overall form factor. Like, do you want this boxier shape or a bigger phone? Do you want a slightly smaller phone? It's more comfortable, flat display. It's kind of like little small things here with this comparison. So let me know what you guys think.